Yes, people. Welcome back to the finished article. And look who is finally back.
Welcome back, guys. Hope everyone's well. Yes, as Shaz has said, I'm back. It's been a busy few weeks. Had a few up and downs that I won't go into, but yeah, I'm back. And
Back again.
What a show to come back on to. We've got plenty to talk about. But I'm going to let Shaz kick off with the usual spiel.
Yes, people. As always, appreciate everyone tuning in. Leave a like on the video, smash that like button, leave some comments at the bottom, and as always, subscribe to the YouTube channel and help us reach our goal. This is not all things football. I'm getting ahead of myself. This is Fergie time, and we're talking about the main news for Manchester United that was dropped this morning. Solskjaer has now been sacked as Manchester United manager. If you don't know, where have you been? You've been hiding under a rock this morning. Have you not checked the news? But yeah, Solskjaer is finally gone. And as the title says, it's an end of an era of Ole Tax. Now, I'm not trying to be a dick and have a go at Solskjaer at all. He got United as far as he could. In the 3 years he was United manager, there was, I personally think there was more ups than downs.
There was plenty of ups, and yes, there were going to inevitably there was a lot of downs. My only issue with, and I put a tweet out today, which Shaz has seen. Ollie took it, and then Shaz has touched upon it. Ollie took it as far as they've gone, but let's be honest, Glazers, you guys fucked up. This should have been done in the summer. My prediction, and we talked about it with Shaz, was I said that he's going to last to December. We're not even in mid-December yet, or even in mid-November yet.
We've just hit mid-November and he's gone. We've just hit mid-November. Solskjaer's gone.
But here's my issue with him going. So, yes, we knew he needed to go because, you know what, the guy's honourable. He didn't blame anybody. He took it on the chin and then he walked out. He said, fair enough. My only issue is you've got rid of a manager to now put Darren Fletcher and Michael McCarthy, another interim manager. So what are you going to do? Drag this out to the season with another mediocrity?
So the problem is you've sacked Solskjaer just before Christmas, right?
Yeah.
So you also have to look at it as who's going to take over the reins now, because there's not a lot of top managers out there right now that are available, readily available. Zidane has said categorically he does not want to come to England, A, because he doesn't like England, and B, he doesn't know how to speak English. C, his wife doesn't want to come to England and move here. So there's three big reasons why Zidane is not coming to United. Now, Luis Enrique has rejected United already. So that's two managers that we could have had that have now rejected United. And these are two big managers that we could have had. Now, there's apparently the favourite to come in is Brendan Rodgers right now. How mad's that? Former Liverpool manager Brendan Rodgers could now be the new Manchester United manager.
Brendan Flop Rodgers, yes. Brendan, where do we start? His track record at Leicester, whilst he's done well, he's been known to bottle it, like a certain team that we know.
Spurs.
Spurs.
Sorry, I've got something in the throat there.
Yeah. And let's be honest, he's not the manager that's going to take United over the line. So as a Man United club, their expectation is the challenge for honours. You're always fighting out for titles. This Glazers mentality of let's finish in the top four, let's make United a cash cow, can't go on any longer. It's not acceptable. And let's be honest, you guys threw Ollie under the bus by giving him a 3-year contract. He did as well as he did, fair enough. But you guys should have had the balls to sack him in the summer and say, listen, thank you.
The thing is, though, the Glazers gave Solskjaer a new 4-year contract that started at the start of the season.
Yeah.
So he signed that in June, July. We're now in November, which is 4 months down the line, 5 months down the line from signing it, and he's been sacked.
Yeah.
So they've now, because they gave him that new contract so quickly and so early, they now have to pay him £7.5 million to release him from that contract.
£7.5 million for me in the context of things isn't the issue. My issue is you're throwing Darren Fletcher in against Villarreal.
Oh yeah, 100%. I've got a problem with that.
You're then throwing Michael Carrick against Chelsea. You just, I don't.
Question is, right? why have you got Darren Fletcher taking over one game, then Michael Carrick taking over another? Yes, there's a Champions League and the Premier League, but United need to have consistency with the manager, which is what we lacked.
There will inevitably be a big bounce.
So we've got a comment here from Darren, so we'll bring this up and we'll discuss it.
Yeah.
So it basically says, isn't an interim manager until the end of the season. Rodgers will cost a substantial fee. Leicester will play hardball like they did over Maguire, and Man United paid over the odds for him. 100%. We shouldn't be taking Brendan Rodgers unless he's going to be our permanent manager, because of the fee that's involved.
Yeah.
To get him out of his Leicester contract, it's going to cost a lot. And then obviously we're going to sign him. And if we're only going to have him till the end of the season, what's the point? Brendan Rodgers won't leave Leicester to come to United for half a season.
That's what I mean. So in that, and somebody raised a good point earlier. If you were going to sack Ole and bring an interim manager, no offense, you might as well just kept Ole and said, look, let's keep him because he's the worst of it. Now, another comment, I'll let you bring it up.
I've heard this. Laurent Blanc is also a good option. He is a good option, but apparently he's already turned down United. And that's so Luis Enrique, Laurent Blanc, and Zidane have all turned down Manchester United. From what I've read, I don't know how true this information is because it's all coming out today on the day that Solskjaer got sacked. So I'm probably going to give it 24, 48 hours. United should have some, confirmation of what's going on.
What we're about to learn is how these boys respond on Tuesday against Villarreal. Because I'll be honest, I didn't get to cover this on the podcast, which is that. But I'm gonna tell you right now, these boys down tools yesterday. Even the fact, even Fred didn't play yesterday. Even Fred, and we were rejoicing, and that's how bad it is. They even had a penalty. Oh my days!
Oh my days! That penalty situation yesterday.
They even had a penalty.
Crazy.
They couldn't score from that. It should have been 5-1. I mean, let's be honest. Actually, every offence.
Here we go. This is the finished article. Every offence is given for what we say.
Basically, there's no way Man United, with the talent that they had yesterday, should have lost to Watford.
What was his comment? Deepan Shu, no. I don't want Rooney as interim manager. This is the problem. People are saying Wayne Rooney should be manager. Gary Neville, Phil Neville, Paul Scholes, Ryan Giggs, Michael Carrick, Darren Fletcher. They're all former players like Solskjaer. We've been down that road with Solskjaer and look where that took us.
Yeah.
We don't need a 4 Man United player taking over as manager. We need a manager who is a proper manager. Yeah. Someone like Ten Hag, who's the Ajax manager. He's a brilliant manager, but my understanding is he won't leave Ajax mid-season because he's invested a lot of time in that team over the past few years. Now, maybe at the end of the season, he may come into realization that, Man United want me. I'm going to go Manchester United, because he was at one point he was tipped to be the new Newcastle manager. Now maybe maybe they've had the conversation. Newcastle have had that conversation with him, and he's saying, "No, I don't want to take over. I want to be at a bigger club because you're Newcastle and you're shit."
Well, it's funny.
What are your thoughts on this comment, Shaz? Rooney is interim manager. I'll let you speak on that, bro.
It's hilarious because Shaz has just alluded to the point. What we learned from the Ole experiment is Guy gave his all, but let's be honest, he wasn't good enough. And I respect the fact that he left with his head held high. What I don't like is the fact that the Glazers took 2 years too long to do what they should have done, or should never have done 3 years ago. Me and Shaz talked about this 3 years ago. We
talk about this all the time. Like Solskjaer should never have been given a permanent contract. Yeah. He was only an interim manager after Mourinho left, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He only came in as an interim manager, as a temporary manager.
Yeah.
But then because of the performances that we had and the way he ran the club at that time, the Glazers thought, you know what, let's make him permanent manager. And look where that's led us.
What my worry is, and I know it will happen, you'll get a bounce back for the next 4 or 5 games because you know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Ollie's gone. Everybody's going to you know what, we're not.
You know what, it was Ollie's fault.
It was.
But it's not. No, the players are now going to bounce back. It's 100%.
Yeah.
The players, I mean, you saw it at the end of the last game against Watford, that Solskjaer went over to the away fans, the United fans, to give him a clap and say bye.
Yeah.
And they were booing him. And the only player that came with him was, what's he called? Bruno Fernandes. Yeah. He was saying, no, don't boo him. It's not his fault himself. It's the players as well. You need to boo us all if you're going to boo him. So we've got some comments here. So stay away from Robin. Someone like Simone from Atletico, he hates Liverpool, so that's a plus for you guys. So for people who don't know, Robbins is a former Man United player who now manages at Coventry City. And we do a show, well, I don't. This guy does. And I'm guessing here that Darren's a Sky Blue fan as well. So he's basically telling us, keep your hands off our manager, innit? Well, he's our manager. He's not yours.
You know, we've had this discussion. I mean, it's quite funny. Yeah. Mark Robbins could actually literally come in and literally do a better job than the coaching staff currently. Right. But let's be honest, that's going to happen because he's not going to leave Coventry. So you don't have to worry about that, Darren.
Don't worry, Shaz. We're not going to try and steal your manager. Just so you know. Exactly.
So that's not going to happen. Anyway, going back to Simeone.
But let's go on to the other part of that. So Simeone is Diego Simeone. Everyone knows who he is. If you don't, go do your research. He's done really well at Atletico.
Yes.
Yes, he hates Liverpool, which is a plus for United fans. He hates Liverpool, so he'll take it very seriously that we need to do better than Liverpool. Great choice for a manager. I don't know if he's going to be our next manager though.
Yeah,
this next name that Dipenshu has brought up, I quite like this name. Bielsa. He's a great manager. He's done wonders with Liverpool, with Leeds. Yeah. But the thing is, we had this problem when we brought David Moyes in. He was a good manager with a mid-table team, but he wasn't cut out to be Man United manager. But yes, he's doing well with West Ham, who are still, to me, a mid-table team. So the question is, can Bielsa, I can't even pronounce his name right now. Bielsa, can he do what he's done with Leeds with Man United? That's the question. Now, I'm asking you, Shaz, do you think Bielsa can do that?
I think he can I think he'll implement the style, but whether that style is sustainable for Man United, it remains to be seen, because the problem is that defensively we're just all over the place.
That's our main problem right now. Is, you mentioned it earlier, the coaching staff. Yeah. So now that Solskjaer's gone, the coaching staff need to go as well. And what I mean by that is Michael Carrick, McKenna, Mike Phelan. They were doing the coaching because Solskjaer came out and said he's not a coach, he's a manager. So he's put other people in charge of his coaching, and they're the ones that are to blame as well.
Exactly. So the funny thing is, I want to talk about this. It's quite funny actually. It's the best thing I've heard all day. It's like, you've got rid of Ole, fantastic. And yes, Shaz is right. You can't get rid of all the coaches at once because you need somebody to be an interim.
So basically, what will happen is, if we get a new permanent manager, like let's say Zidane comes in, for instance, Zidane will obviously say, right, I don't want this staff. Yeah. I want these lot to come in and replace them. And that will happen. But you can't do that. You can't sack Solskjaer and then sack all your coaches at the same time, because then who's going to do the training and stuff whilst we're looking for this replacement?
But then this highlights a bigger problem that, and it goes back to the Fergie days.
Yes.
So Fergie literally, now you can start to appreciate what Fergie did for Man United, because he single-handedly did the training, he single-handedly managed the board, he single-handedly did player development. So
he did everything.
Those type of managers are a gem, and you won't find them again. But the problem nowadays with football is it's not fancy football. So just because we're Man United, or just Man United is a club, doesn't mean that you can just take any Tom, Dick, and Harry off the street and put them into manage, because it's all about style, it's all about development. So what Shaz mentioned at the start is, great players don't always make great managers. So a case in point, obviously, Arteta's struggling, Ollie's struggled. A big shout out to you boys. Arsenal will come back to you shortly.
Oh yeah, we'll get to you boys later.
We'll get to you boys later. Now, obviously, Steven Gerrard has recently taken over at Villa. So it'll be interesting to see, because let's be honest,
1-2-0 as well. His first game in charge.
But let's be honest, managing in Scotland is like
it's managing in League Two, isn't it?
Exactly. So no biggie there.
It's going to be interesting to see how well he does in the Premier League.
He's
Very
great.
interesting.
Yeah, it will. I think he'll struggle
because
well, he's had a year in Scotland. That's like saying, Shaz, you go manage, in League One, and you'll do fine anyway. But Premier League is different kettle of fish.
Oh no, 100%. Like the Premier League is the Premier League in the world, not just in England, in the world.
Yeah.
It is the best league in the world.
Can I just say something? To all those Spurs fans that are bigging it up about Conte, this, Conte, that.
We didn't want Conte.
We didn't want Conte, and let me tell you something.
We done you dirty. United done you dirty. That's all I'm saying.
We not only did you dirty, you ain't won shit yet. So don't come up to us and start yapping away.
So what United did, they beat Spurs so bad, that they sacked Nuno, who was a great manager, to get Conte, who's such a defensive manager. And not only that, Conte is the same type of manager as one of your previous managers, Jose Mourinho.
Yes.
So why get rid of Nuno after? So you had Mourinho, you get rid of Mourinho, you bring Nuno in, You've got Nuno who's had 8 to 9 games in charge. Was it roughly 8 to 9 games in charge? And then you get rid of him, which big mistake. And then you bring in a manager who's just like the previous manager to him. That's just going backwards. That's like going back a step. That's like Man United going from Solskjaer to Conte because we had Mourinho. We don't want that again. We done you dirty. We let you take him.
Yes.
Don't get it twisted. United didn't want Conte. United want Zidane. They want Ten Hag. They want Brendan Rodgers. They want better managers than what we let you have in it.
Yeah,
that's all I can say on it.
Remind us of the last time Tottenham won the Champions League. Oh wait.
No. How many times have you actually been in a Champions League final and bottled it? And who did you bottle it against? Liverpool.
Exactly. So shut the fuck up, and we'll come back to you.
When you sit back down in it.
Exactly.
But this is Fergie time. So what we're gonna do is, Shaz, we're gonna have to do it. We're gonna have to drop a couple of names for our predictions for the next Man United manager.
Okay.
I'll let you go first. I've already said who I want. I want Zidane. And that's the name I'm going to stick with. I don't think we'll get him because of the language barrier and the fact that he doesn't like England.
So I like it. I don't know whether it'll happen or not. I'm going to throw out Pochettino.
He's in a shout, because apparently the way this is going to work, right? I'll explain this to you, bro, and I'll explain to people watching. So United want Zidane, but Zidane has categorically said no.
Yeah.
So we know we're not getting Zidane. But that doesn't mean we can't get another manager who's good. So Pochettino is currently managing PSG, and he's not doing too bad. But his contract runs out next year. So if we get Poch, we would just be paying the minimum to get him because he's got a year left in his contract.
Yeah, correct.
So the way it would work is United take Poch off PSG's hands, and then PSG take Zidane. Because Zidane's French, he'd just be in his own country managing, which is probably perfect for him and his family.
I think Pochettino, for me, and I know Gary Neville brought this up, Pochettino in the Premier League, you give him 5 years, I think he'd work with that project. The problem with it is, as Shaz just said, at PSG, they work on short-term projects.
Yes.
So Leonardo, their director, basically, they won the Champions League. That's ultimately the French league is like the Farmers League, mate. Messi going over there isn't going to do anything.
Well, let's not even get into Messi being in the Farmers League.
We'll talk about it in another episode.
Yeah, we will get to that
later. Another manager I want to give a shout out to is, I know Chad mentioned at the start, Ten Hag.
Yes.
So
very interesting man.
I like him simply because I know he'll bring out the best in Donny van der Beek. By the way, special mention to Donny van der Beek.
Shout out to your boy Van der Beek,
for delivering yesterday, even though it was in a losing cause.
I said it yesterday.
Yeah.
And I've said it to Shaz as well. But in the 90 minutes that we had yesterday against Watford, even though Van der Beek only played about 45 to 50 minutes, he was still our best player over 90 minutes. And that's saying something. Now, before yesterday's game against Watford, he'd only played 15 minutes. He'd literally only played 15 minutes for United this whole season. And in one game, he's tripled that time.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't start making the first team after that performance, there is definitely something wrong at United. He had the best performance he's had in a United shirt. He scored our only goal. And defensively, he played well. He made some great tackles. He closed down Watford quite a bit, even though Watford destroyed us, right? There's no mistake about it. Watford mauled us yesterday, 4-1. And partly to blame is Harry Maguire for getting sent off.
Oh, boy.
And I spoke about this yesterday, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to let Shaz talk about the United and Watford game. I'm going to let you give his thoughts on it. Because I want to know his thoughts on it as well. Go for it.
I have no idea where to start with it. This was like a mind fuck. It was like Maguire basically got skinned and then decided to take out cleverly when he didn't need to. At that stage, it was 2-1. United were in the ascendancy. Yes, Watford had the chance, but Maguire should have used his brain a bit more. He should have, he
was already doing a yellow.
He was already
so there was no need to make such a stupid tackle. Let's be honest.
Tackle. In terms of the performance, De Gea said it best. That was absolutely shocking.
Yeah,
that was beyond
like this guy.
You don't even need a manager.
Leicester done us dirty with Maguire, bro.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying. They took 80 million for Maguire, and Maguire is just the worst player. Like Leicester made him look really good, and at United he's just making himself look like a dick.
Well, no, he did well at Leicester because they played within themselves. The problem at United is you need assertive defenders.
Yeah,
and Maguire for me, signing Varane is the signing of the year. I have to say because he's top quality. Once he's back from injury, I think he will definitely.
Isn't Pogba back for the Chelsea game? Because I know he's going to be able to play against Villarreal, but I'm sure he's back for the Chelsea game as well.
Pogba's not back till the new year.
Really?
So
he got injured on international duty,
and he hasn't signed a contract extension, so I have no idea what's happening with Pogba. Well, I'm going to be honest. I had to throw this because I haven't done this.
You know what? Right now, right, I love Pogba. Right, one of the best players. I love watching him play. But right now, the best thing for United is to get rid of Pogba, even if it's on free, because you're paying him what $200,000 a week or something.
Yeah,
and he doesn't play. He's on the bench. He doesn't even make the starting 11. He doesn't even make the bench sometimes. And he's a massive player, and it's ruining him as well as the club. This was under Solskjaer, right? Now, if a new manager comes in and he plays him well, and I'd love to keep him, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think he's already made up his mind to go Real Madrid or Barca, and he's going to sign with them in January.
Yeah, I would ruin man. We don't see the Pogba we start the first 2 games of the season. Hasn't
That's the Pogba you want in every single game.
But he doesn't turn it on every game. I literally cannot believe that in a team full of Fernandes, Ronaldo, Pogba, you can't get the guy to switch on because that's beyond belief.
What more motivation does he want? You've got some of the best players in the world playing around you, and you're still not performing.
You know who I blame as well? I blame his
agent,
Riola.
Yeah, that guy needs to be sacked. He needs to have his license taken off him. Never mind.
Well, that also brings a question. Now that Ole is gone,
we've got a comment here about Zidane. I'm just going to bring it up. So Darren says Zidane will never manage PSG. Their main rivals are Marseille, and he was born there, and he's a massive Marseille fan.
Fair enough. And that's when Darren.
Right, but saying that, I still think he'll manage them because they're the bigger team out of the two. He could do well at PSG because he's got some great
one thing
players.
I want to talk about, and then me and Shaz talked about this a few weeks back. So now that Ole's gone, it brings up that conundrum about Haaland, because the only reason we were saying that he needed to stay, and this is a stupid thing. This is where last season they needed to pull that buck out and just. This is what the Glazers. This is all the Glazers now.
Yeah,
the Glazers.
This is on Glazers now. Right, so right now, because Solskjaer's gone, I don't see us signing Haaland. I see him going to Man City. The only way I see him coming to United is if we get a really good manager, and his connection with Sancho will bring him to United. As long as we have a good project and a good manager, we will keep him. We'll get him. That's all I'm saying on that.
Yeah, I mean, right now there needs to be there's a lot of things before we even get to Haaland. There's how do we get through Villarreal? I mean,
no, the question is, how do we finish this season and make it a successful season? Now, a lot of people say for Man United to have a successful season, they need to win a trophy, which you're right, they do. And there's we're in contention still for two trophies.
So yeah, League Cup we're out.
Are we in the FA Cup still? We are, aren't we?
Yeah, FA Cup
right.
Started.
So we can win the FA Cup if we play well in the FA Cup. We can still win the Champions League because we're still at the top of our group. Now, if we don't get through the group stage, we can at least go through into the Europa League and maybe win that. Premier League, there's no chance we're beating Chelsea to the top. Chelsea are just too good right now.
Yeah.
Man City are just too good for us to beat, and Liverpool as well. There's three teams that we'd have to do better than, and we can't right now. Nah, come on, Darren. Don't do us dirty like that. Wouldn't surprise me if you guys gave Steve Bruce the job. Nah, I don't even want to comment on Steve Bruce being a manager at United. That's
just made my.
Do you know what? It won't surprise me if we've got Mark Hughes.
Oh man,
crazy man.
You might as well get Rio Ferdinand to come in.
Might as well just give it to Gary Neville after his performance at Valencia. Do you know what I mean?
Oh man, that's hilarious.
Crazy shit.
Nice one, Darren.
Nice one for that comment. That's a crazy one.
But yeah, it's been a whirlwind few days.
Definitely, definitely.
It was happening. It was a case of when, and I find it hilarious. It had to happen.
Like there was a lot of people.
Do you not understand? Do you not? This is really funny. They had a 2-week international break, and you couldn't make that decision.
Exactly. This is what I was just about to say. Actually, I was literally about to get onto this. So I was listening to Sarcasm City. And Flawless was saying that his prediction is, and big shout out to Sarcasm City and Flawless, Rayan, and the whole panel over there. There's too many to name drop, and there's a big panel over there on different shows. But big shout out to Sarcasm City. But Flawless was saying his prediction is that United sack Solskjaer in that 2-week international break, which they failed to do. But then they let Solskjaer take over against Watford, get beat really bad against Watford, of all teams, and then sack him. Now, they had 2 weeks before this game to sack Solskjaer and find a replacement.
That's what I'm do it. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
You had 2 fucking weeks to do it.
If you sacked him, and I'm going to say this hashtag Glazers out.
What was the game before the break? It was Man City, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Man
City.
City.
So let's say we lost to Man City the way we did, right? And the board turned around and said, right, we need to have this emergency board meeting and we need to sack Solskjaer. They sack him the next day like they've just done against Watford. Because let's be honest, losing to Liverpool and Man City.
Yeah, but my point is now, Glazers out. I've got to say this.
Glazier's out.
Let me see. We got the banner.
No, we don't.
Okay.
Just go down to that one. Yeah, there.
This one?
No, one above. No, you're mad. I'll get it for you. Oh, you want that one? You want this one? Just edit it.
We can edit that one and just put that. So we are about to get something trending.
So we got the last one trending, which was Ole out, and we finally got him sacked yet, peeps. So now it's all about this.
So I want to talk about
this. Is the main problem at Manchester United, and it always will be.
Talk about which has so basically what you said, and I want you to understand logically, and we need to have a discussion. Because we're going to wrap it up soon, but I want to end up on this topic before we completely
go for it, bro. Go for it.
You guys are sacked Ollie, fair enough. So you had 2 weeks prior to yesterday's shit performance. You fucked up. You clearly must have somebody lined up, because if all you've done is put Carrick and Fletcher and you just literally sacked him because it was bad enough, have you been asleep for like half a season already?
Yeah, but you brought up a really good point there. Is the fact is you sacked Solskjaer. Have you got a replacement? Yeah. Have you got someone that you're really close to signing?
You must.
Because if you don't, then there's something going on.
That's child's play, mate.
We've got a comment popping up. Darren says Norwich and Villa sacked theirs because of Newcastle appointing, however, and didn't want them to get a push from their new manager. Okay, fair enough. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I just feel the Glacier sacked him because it got to a point where we were just losing to teams like Watford. Like we lost to Liverpool. We lost to Liverpool 4-0, wasn't it?
What these fools don't realize is
Crazy
You boys
shit.
are now the target because you were the guys that fucked up in the first place.
Oh yeah.
So you can guarantee this Blazers out. It's going to get trended. You can guarantee this is going live shortly, and we're starting the motion until you Yanks fuck off. We're riding it all the way back up to you. I'm coming to find you, Joe Glazer. I'm coming to find you.
Glazier, be warned, yeah. Shaz does not work far from Old Trafford.
Yeah.
So he will drive there. He will find you and put you on a plane back to America, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll make sure you sell this club before he sends you back packing.
Exactly.
You get me? That's all I'm saying.
That's all I'm going to say. So you boys sort your shit out. And we're all going explicit today. Can you believe it? It's no holds barred.
There's no holds barred on this channel the time.
No reference to Survivor Series in a few hours. But yeah, it's been a pleasure, Shaz. Great show. Good to be back. Apologies for not being on last couple of weeks. I had a few personal issues to deal with.
It's all good, bro. It's all good. Don't worry about it, man. We're back. We're back, baby. We're back again as always. We're back on YouTube. We're back bringing you content. If you check the channel, the schedule's there for the next 5 days, I think, Monday to Friday, I've put them in. We've got all things football. We've got some Fergie time. We've got fight night in there on Tuesday. We've got all things wrestling. And then we've got another episode of all things football.
And we've got that.
And we've got the finished cut, which Shazza has already picked the movie, 8 Mile. So that's probably going to be dropping on Saturday. If we can do it earlier, we will. We've got a comment here from Darren before we wrap up. The Glaciers don't give a toss about United. It's only the commercial side they care about and the NFL team. Exactly. This is what Shaz mentioned earlier. They're using United as a cash cow. They're just milking it for all the money they can. And when it gets to a point where they're like, oh, we've made enough money from United, let's chip. They're going to sell us and they're going to leave us in this £700 million debt that they've left on the club, which is shocking. I mean, they could have paid that off by now. They're billionaires, these lot, man.
They don't care, mate. They don't care. But
that's the thing. If this was their NFL team, they wouldn't be in this much debt, and they wouldn't be in this. There wouldn't be this much turmoil at the club.
Yeah.
Because if you know their NFL team, I can't remember which one it is. They're not in this situation.
Their NFL team. Let's describe it. So no one gives a shit about it.
Yeah, no one gives a shit about the NFL. It's all about the Premier League, isn't it?
Boom.
But that is all we have time for today, folks. Appreciate you tuning in. We wanted to get this video out because we've been waiting for Solskjaer to be sacked. We'd already linked up today. We already had the plan there. So we just thought we'd jump on and give you all a special episode from the same room as we do sometimes. But yes, appreciate everyone tuning in. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And we'll be back again tomorrow with some more content on football.